In this video, we are going to talk about MCP, which is Model Context Protocol. So we'll talk about what MCP is, why do we even need it at the first place, what are MCP servers. I'll show you an example of an MCP server that I have built myself and I regularly use. And we'll also talk about some applications of MCP. So this video will help you understand more about MCP. And then if you are still hooked, then we'll create a part 2 of this video where we'll talk about the architecture, the primitives in MCP and how the handshake works in MCP, etc. So let's get started. What is MCP? MCP is the acronym for Model Context Protocol. So it's a protocol. What is a protocol? A protocol is simply set of rules that we define that, okay, if two systems are trying to communicate with one another, these are the rules that they need to follow. So what I mean by that is, these are two tools or two data sources, two servers, whatever you call them, set of rules that determine how the communication happens between them is a protocol, like HTTP protocol or SMTP protocol. HTTP is used by your browser to talk to a server and then display you back some content. SMTP is for like sending mails. Then there is SSH that you can use to connect to remote machines and execute some commands there. So that is the idea basically. Protocol is nothing but a set of rules that we define that, okay, if two things are talking to one another, two tools or two data sources, two servers, whatever, are talking to one another, these are the set of rules they are going to follow. So now we understand what a protocol is, but what is a model context protocol? So it basically just defines a standard way for an AI client to communicate to any other tool or any other data source. Let me explain you with a diagram. So what I said was that MCP is a standard way for an AI client to talk to data sources or other tools. Now, why do we need to do that? Why do we need a protocol specifically for this? So here's a good example. Let us say you are trying to build an application in ChatGPT that can read your emails and that can also access your calendar. So basically it can read and write emails for you, and it can set up calendar invites for meetings, etc. Now, if there is no MCP, you are going to create this integration yourself, right? You'll create a tool in middle or an interface in middle that will help your ChatGPT to talk to your email. And same you'll do for calendar as well. If you add another tool to this, you'll have to write the integration or the interface again, right? And if you switch from ChatGPT to Claude, that means you again have to create this interface. So now you have to create the interface again for your email, for your calendar, and for any other tool that you're using. So this is the problem that MCP is trying to solve. It is saying that earlier an AI client had no standard way to talk to these different data sources. So ChatGPT has its own way, Claude has its own way, and any other AI would have its own way. Why not have a set of rules that all the AI clients are compatible with and all the tools are fine with? So we can have this set of rules that can allow any of the AI client to talk to the data sources. So now using MCP, I can create a server or I can create an interface in middle, and I can make my ChatGPT talk to my email. This is called tool calling in AI terms. So now ChatGPT can connect to my email via MCP. ChatGPT can connect to my calendar via MCP, etc., etc. And if I have to change or I have to switch from ChatGPT to Claude, I don't have to do anything because it is a set of rules that all of these clients agreed upon. So that ways, your MCP server or your interface can use any AI client and can talk to any other data source or tool. What I mean by data source and tool, tool is something that will help you perform any task. So if we have a tool called write email, it will help you write an email. If there's a tool called read email, it will help you read the email. And data source, as the name suggests, it is just source of data. So email is a source of data because we will get the previous emails, etc. Now, before moving ahead, let us see how an MCP actually works. So I've created this MCP server. You can check it out over here. I'll also link this in the description. But for now, let's see how it works. So here in my Claude, I have actually set up this MCP server. So in the developer section, this is where you get the Claude's desktop config, and this is where you can add your MCP servers. So I've added it already. Now, what can I do with it? So this is basically a Kubernetes MCP server that lets my Claude talk to my Kubernetes clusters. Now, if you are not from Kubernetes background and you don't know what Kubernetes is, I'll explain you simply for now. So this is you, and this is, let's say, YouTube. So whenever you are watching a YouTube video, you are sending a request to the servers and you're getting back the response, right? Now, YouTube obviously would not just have one server. It will have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of servers. So there'll be a lot of servers over here. Now, Kubernetes is just a tool to manage all these servers. So you just need to know that this is a server, and in Kubernetes, we call it a node. And that should be enough for now. So let's go back to Claude, and I'll ask it how many nodes are there in my current Kubernetes cluster. Many spelling is wrong. List them. Now you can see Claude is asking us to call this particular tool. So I'll allow it. And you can see it is able to answer. And if I check it manually, yes, it is correct. Prod control plane. Prod control plane is the name of the node or the server. So how was Claude able to do that? Claude doesn't know about my cluster, right? Or about my servers. How is Claude able to talk to the server? This is what my MCP server does. So here, I was able to make my Claude talk to my, let us say this is let us say this is Kubernetes. So I was able to make my Claude talk to my Kubernetes cluster by the help of MCP server. Why did I only use MCP server? Can anything else not do it? I can do it, right? I can provide my Claude some tools that it can use to talk to my cluster. Yes, but I can't give those same tools to ChatGPT. So that is why I built this MCP server, so that even if I switch from Claude to ChatGPT, it will work the same. Anthropic describes it as N:M data integrations. So that is the problem with this, that if there are N number of AI applications and M number of tools or data sources, then you'll have to create N multiplied by M number of integrations. This is the problem. I guess integration spelling is wrong. Please ignore my spelling mistakes. I'm not really good at that. But yeah, this was the problem that MCP is trying to solve, that there are N:M data integrations. And after MCP, it becomes N plus M. Where N is the number of AI applications or AI agents, AI assistants, and M is the number of tools or data sources. So that is what an MCP server is. There are companies that provide their MCP servers already, like Gmail provides their MCP server, so you can directly integrate it with your Claude. There are MCP servers by Slack, by Docker, GitHub, etc. And then you can also create your MCP server. If I have to quickly show you how that looks in code, then these are my tools. And this is where I register the MCP server. So here I'm using the MCP's official Go SDK. This is how we create an MCP server. So this is where I'm running that particular MCP server. This is the mode of transport. We'll talk about it in the next video. But yes, it is simple as that. You just need to run that particular server and you need some tools for it. Now, what are tools? Like I said, for your Claude, like in my example, for my Claude to able to talk to my cluster, what I did here was I listed down the servers. So I need a tool for that. So if I show you my tools, here is a tool called list nodes. And this is where I register the tools. So this is where I have registered all the tools. And you can see list node over here. And in list nodes, it will have the function for registering, as well as it will show you how the nodes are listed. So that is Kubernetes internals. Let's not go there. But the idea is that you need to create tools and you need to just start an MCP server. That's it. And you can have your own MCP. So that is how it works. That is what MCP and MCP servers are. I hope you were able to understand what MCP is and what MCP servers are and why do we need it in the first place. In the next part of this video, we'll talk about a few more things that will help you understand MCP better. Like I have JSON-RPC over here, and then how the handshake works, etc., etc. So if you are interested, watch that video as well. If you are interested in Kubernetes and you want to know more about this Kubernetes MCP server, I'll link the video in description. You can watch that as well. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching till here, and I'll see you in the next one.